So right now my project is just me standing in a big white empty box. To put yourself into a scene, you're going to do the same thing. You can go back to Google Images and search for a background. Could be anything you want. You could be on a city street. You could be in the desert. You could be on the moon. You could be wherever you want to be for your project. You could be floating in space. But for this one, I'm just going to grab a scene. Remember to check that you're searching for images that are larger than 1,000. Try to think about the size of your picture and how it would look to put yourself into that scene. And again, this can be really fast. You're going to click on View Image. I know sometimes when you guys click on View Image, it gets blocked. If it doesn't work, just go back and find a different one. But we definitely want to see the large picture before we copy and paste. If you copy it back here, it will be kind of blurry. So it's always best to click on View Image first, and then you get the nice full-size picture. And all you got to do is go to Copy Image, come back to Photoshop, Control V to paste. And in this case, I've got to resize it a little bit to fill up my scene. Again, I'm grabbing the corners. Even though it means it's going to extend out on the sides a little bit, that's much better than squashing it and having it look kind of ugly. Now the problem is I just covered myself up, and that's where we're going to have to kind of work on understanding layers a little bit better. Whichever layer is on top, so right now that's my layer 1, which is my little fire, is going to be on the very top of your image. Then layer 2 was my background, and then in this case I'm actually underneath layer 2. So what I need to do to fix that is to move myself above the other layers. Now it won't let me do that because right now it says it's the background layer. And it's easy to fix. You just right click on it and go to Layer from Background and hit OK. And now I can actually move myself by dragging up above the background layer. Now the problem is it completely covered up my background scene because I've got all this white on my layer with my picture. Super easy fix. You're just going to use the magic wand to select it all and press delete, and now it's starting to kind of come together. Remember, Control D will let go. I'm a little large for this scene, so I would try to scale myself down a little bit, maybe move myself somewhere. I can move the fire around a little bit. Probably need to scale that down a little bit as well. In this case, I might want to stretch the fire. So there are some times when it's okay to use the sides if you are trying to stretch or squash something. My fire was kind of pretty short, so I want to try to make it look like a cooler fire, so I'm going to stretch it up a little bit. Now as you're working, try to pay attention to what things would look like in real life. If I actually had fire coming out of my hand, you probably wouldn't see it on the front of my hand. You would see it more up on the top of my hand. So try to kind of think about some of those things. You might not see fire over here on the side, so you might want to actually erase that. If I change my eraser much smaller, I could come in over here on the side and kind of erase some of those flames so it didn't look like it was coming out the side of my hand, but right out of the palm of my hand. And just kind of play around with that and work on making yourself a superhero.